Good afternoon, RPG Limit Break and Final Fantasy Randomizer fans. I am DVS7. I am joined here by Sir Linkalot for an afternoon pods race between DemonRHK and jat2980, both of the Dr. Oon pod, and this is actually the last run for the Dr. Oon pod. So I guess typically first things first. Link, what do you think of our parties?
It's some interesting parties. I know we've been seeing a lot of fighter black belt, kind of how Jat brought, just because of that idea. If you find a really good weapon early, you can just stand the black belt off and go with your 3-man party. But black belts have typically been kind of winning the seeds, it seems like. So I don't blame DemonRHK to just go all in on the black belt.
Yeah, I feel like it's a tough balance. You bring the fighter along, but you're kind of hoping that you get to use the black belt a lot. Especially if you wind up with those B-side trap tiles. But it's a little bit of a risk. I kind of like the versatility that Demon has with 2 black mages instead of a red and a black. They're pretty much going to be the same, but if we end up finding a white mage spell that's at an early level, like a fade or a white locked life, then that's really going to put Demon ahead.
Yeah, fade would be the biggest one because, if you're running black belt, especially if that's what this ends up being, like a black belt seed, life is nice if something terrible happens. But with the way the weights are right now, and we're getting started, you can kind of man mode Topher for the most part, typically.
Yeah. You do have to spend a little bit more time on that grind. And we have Life 2 and Cure 4 at level 1 white. And looks like Ice 2, Lock 2, and Rub, but you're pretty much just buying Ice 2 and Lock 2 for that black magic.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if we see a promotion if we get the tail on Jat's side, just to be able to pick up Cure 4 before diving into Topher. Because that can be a valuable spell that can save you sometimes.
Yeah. And Lackey's asking in chat, do we have word on the class blessings? Absolutely we do, and while they're on their way to Temple of Fiends, we have the fighter can wield the X-Cal. Black belts have a 20 buff to their MDef, so they're plus 20 on MDef. The red mage has an extra 30 hit points, the white mage with 5 luck, and the black mage has plus 20 hit percent. Got to get that extra swing in there.
Yeah, and maybe Garland is trying to tell Jet something by immediately killing his fighter off.
It might be an ominous foretelling. Though I did realize...
So that's actually... So Demon might be concerned because if Jat brings a fighter and the fact that the fighter can equip that X-Cal. Jat didn't check those boxes, though, and I doubt he's going to be checking those boxes.
No.
Because if he'd be checking those boxes, yeah, that black belt is probably taking a dirt nap very quickly.
Demon is I think he's very much thinking about re-rolling. Doing the fighter black, or the fighter black belt white black. But nah, it looks like he's gonna commit. But that's a huge pickup in that top left chest.
I mean, if you were gonna re-roll for the fighter at that point, I don't even think you bring the black belt. You've got the X-Cal to go at that point, especially knowing what's at level 1 white magic 2 with Cure 4 and Life 2. Like you would go into either just a 3-man fighter comp if you re-roll, or just bring a 4-man baster on that fighter comp. You would be absolutely done with the black belt.
Yeah, well, and I like Demon's decision to immediately sell that X-Cal to pick up a lot of this camping gear, healing items, things like that. And again, like one of the things we keep talking about with that X-Cal in general is the fact that yes, it does a lot of damage. Yes, it has the elemental buff on it, but it has horrible crit rate, which ends up being very important for some of these late game Tophers.
Yeah, the crit rate's terrible. The +4 helps that out quite a bit, but I mean, it's definitely a serviceable weapon up, all the way up. Might need a little bit more tempers, things like that, to get you through like Chaos and Tia, but it will definitely do the job, especially at a +4.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Just to give a little bit of an interesting history here, Jat is a fantastic runner. Been leading up our helping lead up our duckling program with Sir Link a lot, and Groggy and Gregory Puff, and a number of other runners in the community. And last night we kind of had a little bit of a practice, Grogly Puff. We had a little bit of just a friendly practice run where DemonRHK came in ahead by 3 seconds to Jat. And so I'm wondering how much that's going to be playing with Jat's mind as he goes into this seed. If he's going to start feeling nervous, make different decisions. I'm genuinely curious if that's going to play into the run today.
I mean, I think part of that's going to be kind of determined, like, you know, what happened during Jat's run. Like, if it was just one little, you know, oops, I got a wipe happen when, you know, I got unlucky RNG. That, you know, 3 seconds is a lot of things can happen that'll change in 3 seconds. So it's going to kind of depend. I feel like Jat's probably just going to kind of play his game the way he's used to, and we'll see what happens at the end.
Yeah, it is interesting though. I kind of think of Jat as a fighter main, and so like leaving that that fighter on the ground, keeping that black belt up. Oh, actually, you know, he did pick up the fighter. Yeah, again, we'll see. You know, we'll check this white magic still. We have life 1 at slot 2, so the white mage benefit in level 3 magic doesn't seem to be that big. It looks like the only thing that's really on Demon's side with that white mage over the red is, I think, Cure 4, which was slot 4 in Canaria.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was Cure 4. So we've already got the life magic. So, you know, life 1 being locked out on the white side isn't huge, because we already got a life spell with the red mage.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like the decision to pick up the extra life, depending, like, because if you have life 2 and Cure 4 sharing a slot, oof, and Fade at level 3, Jat didn't even check that level 3 magic.
That was level 4 magic. The big one there, 4. Which it doesn't matter because Nuke said there anyways, and we've got Warp 2. The biggest one that I saw actually was the fact that Exit was locked out, but then you've got Warp available, so it's not as big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like Jat's lucking out with that red mage choice and choosing to go Marsh top and being rewarded by the Q being in that first Marsh top box. Are you a top first or bottom first if you end up going to Marsh?
I am definitely a top first. It's just, you know, it's 4 quick checks, and Marsh, depending on what level you are, can be extremely dangerous just because of how many monsters they are. Only takes one of them to roll a bad script, and you get to beat your head against the wall trying to find that item. If it's here, it's nice and quick, and then you can get out.
Yeah. I have transferred to being bottom first. Honestly, it'll probably depend on how early I go in, but especially with an early key, and if you end up going in at a little bit higher level and you've got some extra magic, there are 2 trap tiles there that you're almost convinced that your opponent is never going to check. And so if you end up finding something juicy down there, like Agamas or Eyes or something like that, Sorias, then it can really give you a little bit of an edge. And it looks like Demon is making
getting out at that point. But...
yes, very true, very true. You know, like, and then it's kind of that same thing with the ice dive. Like, you know, you have a lot of trap tiles in ice, but ice is also a very, very dangerous place to go. Demon picking up his cube, and it looks like he's going to open the last 3 chests in Marsh Top, which Jat skipped. So we'll see if Demon has the same luck with picking up some extra treasures that Jat skipped here.
I mean, I kind of like the play just because, you know, if you find something critical here, you're already in the area. Like, you know, a ribbon. which we can see demons like this paid off, and yeah, it's kind of those
Wow.
things, those little extra checks here and there. It can pay off. It's a little bit of extra time, but having a ribbon, that's critical just at any point in the run.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep track of this. Demon items that Jat skipped. Xcal 4 in Puff. And ribbon in Marsh Top. Yeah, we'll see how this plays. I know if you've ever watched Jat do one of his VOD reviews, which is a fantastic thing if you're a relatively new runner, and even if you're an experienced runner, Jat's reviews on runs are incredibly helpful. But one thing he always talks about is box opening and limiting box opening. So I'm not surprised to see Jat skip those boxes, but again, the question is how much of an impact is that going to make?
Yeah, I mean, remember we talked about the fact that there's 3 seconds. That's that was definitely 3 seconds right there to go check those boxes. So maybe it swings the other way just because of something like that. But Sage is holding the crystal that we'll need to bring to Matoya, and that was kind of like the first here in Crescent was kind of the first spell that was white lock that might be a critical thing that we're missing is Invis 2. I don't think I've actually seen any kind of evasion spells that are available. So it's very possible that Jat's group, unless he gets the white shirt, is just going to have to go with whatever they have for evasion.
Yeah, and that pushes you very much in the bring that black belt up in the 42 range, or just hope that you find some big opal armor, Aegis shield kind of stuff.
I think part of that's going to depend on where Fast and Temper land, because we haven't really seen either one of them. So that's kind of one of those things potentially with the black belt when you're making the decision to go from 32 to 42 is, what kind of black magic do I have to support myself during the fights? If you're missing something as critical as Fast, then it's definitely something you probably want those 2 extra hits plus the damage.
Right. And Jat deciding to take some levels outside of Crescent Lake, checking a couple of the different encounter zones. There are actually 4 encounter zones over Crescent Lake, and depending on which one is the first one can impact how much gold you get, how much experience you get. And there's that Invis 2 at level 6, and Cake and Bane. I wonder how high Jat's going to take this. What are you thinking?
I don't see him taking it that high. I think he just wants some nuke charges, because the big thing is, like, right now, either you're going to travel all the way to Matoyas to turn the crystal in and hope, maybe you get your canal or your floater, or you have Ice Cave. That's what's on the table right now. That's all we have left. So you kind of got a 50-50 shot, and you probably just want to do Ice Cave first just because it's technically on the way, but, he's going to make a liar out of me, it looks like, and go to Matoya instead.
Yeah. I mean, there's also that early armory play, which, I mean, some of these armories have been incredibly dense with items, ribbons, masses, vorpals, like all sorts of different things that you could pick up. Demon laying a save down there at the river split. I wonder if he's planning on doing a save scum in case Matoya doesn't have anything.
Which Matoya doesn't have anything, not right now at least, as a tail. But that does definitely mean we're going to be finding it has to be the canal inside, or something leading to the canal inside of the Ice Cave.
Which is definitely not something either of our runners really want to see. And we'll see what Demon does here. Sees the tail and instant reset. I'm feeling armory. I'm feeling armory.
Yep.
There he goes. Wait, what had ice 2? Was that the Sahags or was that the eyes?
I'm not actually sure which one hit it. But yeah, that was definitely a good move by Demon to just kind of, I'm going to check this. If it's nothing, I'll just reset out, because you can always, if it's not critical, you can always come back later with the airship, or, Matoya's is terrible to get to from most locations.
Yeah, especially that top with that top entrance there. And we get a single mage. This is interesting, especially for some early levels.
Until the mage decides I want to kill your black belt.
Yeah, exactly. How much XP has he got? 519. That's yeah. I don't feel like that's really worth it.
Not for a single one. Like if there's multiple ones there, maybe, but they also did have a good amount of health too. So
yeah. Groggy asking if that was a B-side tile or an A-side tile, and Crabcakes in chat saying it was an A-side. Could still be B though. Yeah, I do not know the tiles well enough. So we'll have to see probably on this next tile that's in the middle of the armory.
Yeah, and something to keep in mind too, because this might factor into the decision making, is that Jat can technically, I guess, afford, if you want to say it like that, to be a bit more risky with his play. Being 2-0, he's basically just playing for seeding in the brackets.
Right.
He's going to be in the brackets no matter what happens on this race. Whereas DemonRHK is playing to just bypass the play-in race right now. So
right.
There's a little bit more where Jack can feel like, hey, I can be a little bit more risky because there's not as potentially much on the line for me as there is for DemonRHK.
Yeah, finding gargoyles on the armory tile. Another ice -1 sword, which is just more swords that I'm sure Jat would have loved to see on that fighter. But basically, a wash for this armory here.
Yeah, no good spike tiles, no good really anything. So.
Yeah, so Demon's walking out. I feel like at this point he's got to go down to Crescent Lake and pick up levels. I don't remember if he picked up any houses. Like if he had a stack of houses, he can try to farm a little bit at the beginning of Ice. He has one house. Yeah, I feel like he's got to go south and pick up some levels.
Yeah, the biggest concern right now is the fact that with his levels, he doesn't have any charges of nuke, and his only sweepers are Ice 2 and Ice 3, which you're going to Ice Cave. Pretty much everything in there resists ice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, if there was like a Fire 3 at a low level, or if he picked up Harm 4, that would definitely incentivize that play. Picking up the White Mage, it seems like Demon's really relying on that White Mage with its Life 2 casts at level 1. I kind of like the play, and we'll have to see how well that works for him.
I mean,
wasn't there also Warp too at a higher level?
Warp was level 4 as well, so that's gonna make checking the boxes a little bit faster. Warp and exit as well. So depending on where it is, Demon's gonna have an easier time getting out. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the reason why you bring the White Mage over, like the Red Mage, is that guaranteed, if you get those lock spells like Life 2, Cure 4, Heal 3 early, it makes your dungeons safer. Like they're probably going to be a little bit slower because you don't have the the firepower from a Red Mage or a Black Mage that you could have brought in exchange, but it's safer as long as that White Mage is alive.
Yeah. And Jat wiping out to a pack, an undead pack there in Ice. So Ice proving to be a little bit, at minimum, a speed bump. And we'll have to see. Frost Dragons are ambushy, and we'll have to see if there's something ugly in there.
It seemed like a lot of things were ambushy, because he got ambushed by like a 7-pack of Wizards, he got ambushed by the Frost Giants, ambushed by the Wraiths.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember what goes into ambush rate. I want to say it's like agility and luck. Anyone out there who knows can feel free to correct me. But the yeah. But like again, one of the interesting things is that White Mage does have +5 luck. And so with with 2 black mages and that white mage with extra luck, Demon's going to have a better chance of running than Jat does. So he might end up having an easier chance or an easier run going through Ice Cave.
Those are some nice pickups right there for equipment. You get Lightning 2 and Ice 2 cast whenever you want.
Yeah. Yeah, and depending on what these tiles are, oof. Yeah. That's a nice tile. Depending on what they have and how ambushy they are, having that many whiz mummies gives you a ton of extra experience.
I almost would have considered probably throwing a nuke at him and trying to kill
Yeah.
him. You know, nuke Lightning 2 and go from there. Because, yeah, that would have been a nice chunk of experience.
I'm wondering what Demon's going for. Yeah. Okay, Demon buying houses, tents. I want to say he doesn't have nuke on that second black mage.
I think he's
so I can see
that.
Yeah. So I can see. I feel like I see the play from him being heading over to Ice Cave, dropping a tent, doing a mini grind in the front of Ice Cave, and then housing up to pick up some extra levels as opposed to relying on the Crescent Lake grind.
Yeah, I mean, I would like the Crescent grind better just because he doesn't have the levels. Oh god, Iguanas have Toxic as well. I'm sure Jet's hoping to get out of this fight quickly now.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is, and like, that's one of those things before committing to a grind, trying to identify, go a little bit deeper and find out, do these enemies have a spell or a skill list? And what is that spell or skill list? And these giants are thick too. So
yeah,
thick giants, toxic iguanas, ambush heavy. This is an ice cave that you do not want to see at level 11.
Yeah, he's making it through, and it's just like he did have to use a lot of resources, but it was his ice spell, so he still got the valuable nuke in case something terrible happens and he finds something like, I have to nuke this to get away. Like, this fight.
Oh gosh.
Well, that frost giant deleted the black mage.
Well, and the frost wolves have paralyze. Was that stun touch or mute touch?
I believe that might have been sleep touch actually.
Well, regardless of what touch it is, that's a bad day. All right, using up some life 2 casts.
And this is something to keep in mind too, that he's down to 3 heal potions, so he has to find this item now and get out before running out of items. Because here's another frost giant frost wolf pack. He gets out nice and quick that time though.
Yeah. Well, and that's does he have exit? He doesn't, right? He only has warp.
Exit was white locked. I don't even know if he has warp, but I know he doesn't have exit.
Yeah. So if he doesn't have exit, that's another advantage to DemonRHK, who once Demon finds that incentive item, he can exit out quick. The problem with warp in Ice Cave is that to get out, you usually need to cast 3 or 4 warps, especially right here. So you're just praying that you can make it out to the staircase, and it looks like Jat does make it out with his canal, and Jat's going to be heading outside of the Inner Sea.
Yeah, so I know Demon kind of has like the edge on equipment with, mainly just the ribbon. But Jat's kind of ahead as far as like the exploration and everything, because he's full cleared the Inner Sea, because he also kept the tails. So if Demon does want to promote ever, he's going to have to go back and grab it, which, with his party, I don't really see him going for a promotion, at least not until he's done his grind. Whereas, Jat might spend the time to promote just because of that Cure 4 that's sitting there waiting on the Red Wizard.
Right. Well, I feel like if Jat wasn't going to promote, he probably would have reset out of that tail. So I it's got to be on his mind. At minimum, it has to be on his mind. I'm also kind of curious if... Oh, no. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, when you have a spell as critical as Cure 4, it's definitely something you have on your mind when you're running a red mage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like he's probably also thinking about that exit as well. And taking a little bit of time to take these Karibs and Gators. And Demon picking up his Zeus Gauntlet and his Black Shirt. Get some AoE spells here.
So I think one of the reasons Jet might be taking is, one, to just get some extra levels while they're on their way. I mean, Karib's and the fights he's taking, they aren't the greatest fights, but they are still a little bit of experience. He might want some levels because he already has the rods, so if he stops at Melmond, he might just, jump into the Earth Cave to check the spike tiles, as well as, go nuke Lich.
Yeah, I didn't see that gold -1 earlier. That's a nice pickup. And I think Demon now suddenly realizing he never actually equipped that ribbon. So now putting the ribbon on the white mage and the gold -1 on that black belt. Yeah, making the smart decision to run there instead of, unfortunately, finding that toxic coming out of those iguanas.
Yeah, thankfully, if he would have seen it, the white mage would have been protected, but then your white mage still has to get away from everything.
Exactly. Well, and that's, I don't know, at that level, though, that white mage should probably have at least one fade cast. Looks like he has a couple on there. So, like, Demon, I feel like he's very safe right now. Like, his party is very safe. He's got a lot of that gear. He's got the ribbon. And then we're looking at Jat, who's got the exploration, got a little bit of levels, little bit less gear, but he is off to the races, and it looks like he's heading straight down towards Ordeals.
I would imagine we might see him go to Onrak first, just because, if you've been looking at his inventory, he only has 6 heal potions right now. So if he does end up finding a good grind or something like that, he's not really going to be able to stay there. But looks like he is going to make the Ordeals play still first. And hope to get through it.
I blame Dead Pulse for the early Ordeals plays these days. He's very much a Ordeals as soon as humanly possible.
Well,
and
Sarias have stone poison, so that's a thing.
Ooh. Yeah, Demon checking some boxes, a couple extra boxes again, but this time not being rewarded for those boxes. So at 26 minutes in, give you all a little bit of a recap here. I am DVS7, joined here by Sir Langalot. We are on the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament 2021, the Chaos Comedy Tour, with DemonRHK versus jat2980, both of the Dr. Un pod. DemonRHK currently 1-1, Jat currently 2-0, and they are, Demon is playing for a guaranteed spot in the brackets, whereas Jat is playing for a higher position in the seeding. Basically, we've had to full clear this inner C. Jat getting out a little bit early, heading straight to Ordeals. Demon getting a little bit more in boxes, but using up a little bit of time that Jat has certainly taken advantage of.
Yeah, and the big thing to note about those boxes that Demons opened up, the first one was, it's probably a decision since Jet skipped these boxes and he didn't see this. It was an XCal +4, which the fighter can actually equip pre-promotion due to the blessings, but the most critical one was in the top of Marsh. Jet skipped the other 3 boxes after finding the cube in the very first box, and one of those other 3 boxes held a ribbon.
Looks like Jat pulling out the chime from Ordeals. Well, Demon discovering fast at Melmond. What slot was that fast in? Was it 2 or was it 3 or 4?
I missed that. It was 3, so
3?
that is
Okay.
promotion locked in general, then, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah, that's promotion locked. So that's gonna put that on Demon's mind. I don't think he's really gonna do anything about it. Like it's gonna depend on the grind tile that he finds. Demon choosing to check out these Hall of Giants tiles before heading over to OnRack or Deals. And again, we'll see if this little bit of a detour ends up playing in his favor, or if this metal slime grind that Jat found is going to be the best thing that they see today.
Yeah, I don't know if I would take. Yeah, it's like seeing that the metal slimes immediately had some kind of a spell script because they started with lightning. I don't know if I would hang around too long there and wait for something a lot nastier to happen, then have to retrace through ordeals.
Yeah. Demon checking this third trap tile as Jat leaves ordeals. He's either gonna head to Sky or OnRack. Oh my! Demon finding a massa -4 in that top Earth chest.
So that will be huge if he finds, we find eyes or we find agamas for that black belt to kind of get going.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me make another little note here.
Well, I know. So Jet hasn't skipped that just yet. He hasn't even been to Earth Caves, so we'll see. Maybe
Knowing
if he checks
Jet,
those looking for a grind still.
yeah, true. Knowing Jat, I feel like he's either gonna completely skip that or do the bottom check instead of the top check, because the bottom check is more efficient because it is an encounter-free trap tile, whereas the top room, you actually do take an encounter step after every one. So it looks like Demon heading off to Ordeals, Jat making the play to pick up some heal pots, hopefully.
They're still looking for the vendor item as well, so since we've checked every single item shop, it's got to be in Gaia.
Yeah. And, we still haven't seen the Oxio. We have Chime and Q. Oh, we do have the Oxio.
Yep.
That was Bicky gave us the Oxio. I'm looking at. By the way, to mention, Groggy Dog tracking for us, Jay Scheidel on Restream, and yeah, very thorough notes and support.
Yeah, and that's gonna be kind of the critical thing, because if we don't find something like Floater in Waterfall, that means progression is either sitting in Sea or Sky, whereas the levels Jet already has on his party might allow him to kind of get into these dungeons and clear them as well, because he's got Rack on both the Red Mage and the Black Mage, so Tia and Kraken are definitely susceptible to it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the seed is kind of hanging in the balance at the moment. With Demon having a little bit more of an advantage, Demon picking up a lot of the items that you would love to see if you're Jat, and Jat kind of being a little bit more exploration based, which is more of a black belt strategy. And we'll see if it's you really don't know what's happening, or you don't know who's ahead. You don't know, like, Jat's a little bit ahead exploration wise, but you don't know how much of an impact these tiny little box checks are gonna help Demon or hurt Demon. Groggy pointing out in chat, Demon taking the Life 2 is my favorite heal spell approach. I am a strong proponent of Life 2 is a great heal spell, especially in Topher. Gotta love taking out a light warrior in Topher simply so you don't have to use up some heal pots.
I mean, when it's level 1 and you have that many charges of it, why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Hmm.
We might have found our grind.
Yeah, that's a game-changing moment there.
That was kind of I feel like that was kind of a little bit of a chunky Agama, so that might be kind of rough for Jet at the moment. We get the herb from the robot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, though, as a counter, we do have that black shirt. I mean, the Agamas might be chonky, but if that black shirt is enough to kind of help get you up in the right spot, then that might be worthwhile for him.
That's true. We'll see. I mean, he's going to be taking some of them at least.
Mm-hmm. So Demon getting a nice level. Jat going with some ice 2s, taking out that black mage. 2 rounding. And Demon realizing he's out of he's running out of spell charges. Nuke swing fade.
So yeah, Jat's going to keep the red mage up for just a little bit at least, because Agma felt like it was hitting pretty hard too. 3 for 90.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that's having run a lot of Chaos Rampage for a recent tournament, you learn that black belt grinds are as much of an art form as they are anything else. Ooh, and getting a what's it called? Ambush on those metal slimes. Yeah, like if you down that red mage just a turn too early, then you could end up getting 2 hits for 90 on an armored red mage. Yeah, bad things can happen if you try to level too soon, or if you try to go solo for too soon.
Yeah, and I know when you're in like a one-on-one tournament setting, regardless of whether you're both running black belts, you don't know. In this case, they don't know what each other took. The fact that you lose your grind, you immediately feel behind because you could have lost a good chunk of time with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Jat's right about level 20. Demon is slightly below. He's somewhere in the mid-teens. And Demon's probably going to do... I mean, if I were him, I'd probably end up doing Waterfall first. And if that's so, he might wind up on this Agama tile as well.
Yeah, probably. He's just got the benefit of having that Masa to kind of get him online, which, Jet's about to. He's about to hit 21, so that should be at the point where we're seeing these Agamas go down, probably just from 2 hits from the black belt by itself. And it wouldn't surprise me if that's when we see the red mage take a nap for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And Burt Reynolds in chat joining us. Hey, Burt. Asking, hey, what did I miss? Demon has been doing a couple extra greed checks and was rewarded with an XCal +4, a ribbon, and a Massa -4. Giving Jat a little bit of time, but at the same time, Demon's been doing more save scumming than Jat. So Jat spent a little bit of extra time in the overworld. And honestly, there's still a lot more game to play, and we're not exactly sure how this is going to end up.
Yeah, like considering he hasn't been healing that red mage after these fights, it's like he's been waiting for this. This should be 21 right there, so I'm sure we're gonna see some Agamas. I would imagine, they're around like 350-ish health, so it's like 1, 2 turns depending for right now. I think a few more levels we'll start seeing, 1 hits, 1 rounds every single time.
Yeah.
And Demon actually is going C first, so this is kind of a little bit of a more risky play.
Yeah, I definitely agree that this is a gutsy move, trying to go C and going Kraken side first. So he's obviously got Kraken on the mind. I don't know if he's thinking about those 4 trap tiles on the Sharknado floor, but we'll see. And Crabcakes did point out a little bit earlier that Jat's been burning through some heal pots on this grind. Now looks like he's able to one-shot, but he might have to cut this grind a little bit early if he doesn't have the heal pots to sustain it.
Yeah, as those Agamas are hitting like that, you've taken almost
Yeah.
300 damage from the Agama. So there's 10 potions right there that you have to use because you have to heal knowing that they can crit you for 170. So if they get turn order on you and you don't two shot or one shot, then yeah, that's a
right.
and
That could be a bad
speaking
time.
of ambush, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, Bert asking about whether or not Demon considered re-rolling after picking up that XCal 4. We did talk about it, and you could see him contemplating the re-roll, but ultimately deciding to go with the black belt.
So he found the blue dragon tile, and I didn't see about how much health it was, but I saw his reaction thinking like, hey, this might be doable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this bottom trap tile being linked to that same track tile he had earlier. I believe the top one is different. It's confusing. Needless to say, figuring out which trap tiles are linked in Sharknado Floor is a confusing thing because there's two different ones on this box, and that's the eye.
He's happy to see the eye. You can see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now, yeah, yeah, very happy. Then all of a sudden, oh no, I really have to think about this.
It's like, yeah, do I take this? It's like I don't feel like he's ready. I mean, so the eyes are sitting somewhere between 100 to 170 health, so definitely a lot lower and more doable. You're going to want to get your party members killed off at this point to start doing it. So it should go faster than Jets. The scary part about it is if you do the grind before killing Kraken, you then have to get out while going through Kraken. And Kraken is one of those, level 1 fiends where if it rolls up on strength and things like that, it hits hard. And it can still take down a black belt with no issues. And yeah, Jet's kind of out of heal potion, so he's got to leave. So we might see him come back.
And running into a Ghastly, I'm surprised Demon's not throwing that Massa on that black mage or that black belt. There's really no reason not to. It's gonna do more damage, at least in the meantime. Definitely put the eye down in one hit. Yeah, I think he just realized, oh look, I have a Massa. Let's put that down here.
Let me fix this quickly. So this black belt is doing things it should be doing by itself, which, okay, so we know 150 to 170 health, so not too much.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely a very, very workable grind. And if you're Demon, what you're thinking now is what number between 32 and 42 feels best to you right now.
Yeah, because he knows where Tail is. He doesn't have it, so he knows that he's going to need to promote for fast. So yeah, that's the big decision at that point. It's like we don't know about Temper at all, so we know Temper is more than likely promotion locked, as well as being at a high spell level 2.
Yeah, the thing that Demon's running into now, which is an incredibly frustrating aspect of running a black belt grind, which is how do I kill off everybody else?
Yeah, that's the one bad thing, and that's what's kind of really taking this grind a while now, is he has to get it set up. Whereas, Jet only picked up his red mage, so if Jet also is checking these trap tiles and finds his eyes, it would not surprise me at that point if he decides it's like, okay, I'm already ready for this. Let me start going to town on these eyes now. Let me just get rid of the red mage and start punching some eyes.
Yeah. I'm also getting a little nervous seeing snorting coming out of the eye, because that's a skill, and what could be underneath that. But yeah, I feel like he needs to go to one of those other trap tiles or take a little bit of a risk to try to down some of those two black belts.
Yeah, we'll see what he does. It's like I like the fact that he did. It's like, okay, the white mage is dead in slot 1. Let me kill this eye, get that black mage up there. So chances are, if he's swinging at one of my black mages. But yeah, that's seeing some skills, that's scary when you're trying to set up.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, the fact that the eye is not doing a good job hitting is just a bad time. Snorting. Jat running into a little bit of trouble with these sea snakes here.
Yeah, sea snakes they can have some health sometimes.
So it looks like Demon losing one of his black mages, so he's finally starting to make a little bit of headway. Not sure if he's gonna try to get a couple extra levels on that black belt too. That black mage as well.
See, and Dangwu thinking of like next level strats. The best way to make some of these deep dungeon grinds safer, if you know a way to get a character that has like warp or exit petrified.
Yep.
You can bring them. They're not getting experience, but you can bring them back when you're done with your grind quickly to safely get out of the dungeon and save your grind rather than have to walk out and risk it.
Yeah. Very, very strong play. Yeah, I feel like Demon's got to just keep killing eyes. Like that's the focus. Down, up, item, fight. Down, up, item, fight. Down, up, item, fight. And if that black mage ends up getting extra levels, hey, look, you've got extra casts of temper or fast or nuke. And in the meantime, your black belt's just going to keep gaining experience versus waiting around and hoping that the eye kills it.
Yep, and Jat's about to find these eyes himself. He's going to see this blue dragon trap tile, which he'll take one more time. He sees the glance, and the black belt doesn't like it.
Yeah, that's the wrong wrong light warrior there. Kind of want the red mage to get glanced.
Oh, I was wondering. He brings the black mage up probably because like, oops, I saw this, and he's gonna probably immediately regret it. Be like, oh well, sorry, black mage. I gotta kill you again.
Yeah. CC pointing out in chat that Jat ran out of heal pots, and that was, picking up that black mage was probably a heal strat with that life too.
Kind of surprised he didn't buy any before going in there, because I'm pretty sure DemonRHK had them.
Yeah, it looks like Jat's also about to sit on this grind. The eye's still not playing nicely with Demon's black mage, and now it's funny because you're kind of getting into a point as well now where seeing snorting is going to become a good thing, because you've got basically 2 free turns with that black belt, and heal pots ultimately don't matter as much, because if you're getting snorted and not losing HP, then no need to do any sort of healing in between turns.
Yep. And considering the fact, Jat's purposely killing these eyes, I think his idea right now is just get the black belt to 32. I don't see him taking it to 42 right now, where he'd be trying to kill these other characters off.
Right. Yeah, I think he's definitely in the passive danning off of characters as opposed to the active one that Demon was doing. Demon's at 23, and I don't remember. Jat's at 25, it looks like. So, I mean, he's catching up.
I think he's a little bit higher than that.
Oh, is he? Jat's 30?
Yeah, because I was like, I'm pretty sure he was like 27 or so when he was leaving the waterfall, and he picked up some levels on the way here, so... Yeah, it's going to take several fights to do this, but he's getting levels on the entire party. So the black mage, the red mage, they're going to have more charges. They're going to have more, magic defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I personally am all about the mage grind at some point. Whether it's picking up that black belt, like my most recent run, picking up the black belt at level like 39 or something, and bringing the whole party for the rest of the trip just to pick up some extra cure 4s, some extra heal 3, some extra fast temper. I mean, all of those extra support spells, and just not having to worry about it in Topher. And getting pretty much simultaneous eye fights here. One of the interesting things, and we talked a little bit about last night. The Demon very happy that black mage finally went down. But last night, just in a little bit of a pickup run, Demon ended up ahead of Jat by 3 seconds, and we're starting to see a picture of what how 3 seconds can make the difference in terms of menuing, in terms of quick thinking, in terms of danning party members. Jat hitting level 32 with his black belt, and it looks like that's exactly what he was waiting for. Whereas it looks like Demon's still doing a little bit of a grind, might be unsure of where he's going. And it's these tiny little decisions that are ultimately going to end up being the seconds and minutes that might make the difference in this run.
Yeah, like, I mean, he knows where fast is, but, at this point, you have your black belt. Your options are literally either walk all the way back through the Sea Shrine to get out with a solo black belt, or go through Kraken. So
Right.
it's kind of rough either way. It's like, I know I've seen some runners, potentially go and, just kill Kraken and get Kraken out of the way, then come back for the grind, or just, leave to save and then come back in. Things like that, just to kind of make the escape a little bit easier, potentially.
Yeah. Yeah. Jat making his way up to Kraken. Demon at level 30 now. Hoping Demon decides to both heal up that black mage and move it to the first slot at some point. But we'll get a look from Jat whether or not this Kraken is a fiend to be trifled or not to be trifled with, or if it's gonna slap you with a wet noodle or two.
The scary thing was that pack of lobsters, because they hit hard.
And Dangwu pointing out in chat, looks like Jat's trying to do a life 2 heal for that fighter.
That's not happening. He
no, and that's absolutely not what you wanted. Oh, he only had 3 warp charges.
Yeah, he can't get out of this either.
And he doesn't have heal pots.
Yeah, he's got to walk out these 2 floors, this small floor, warp this one, and then just kind of pray.
Pray. And he's out of spells. And Jat knows it.
That's why it's like, I mean, I'm almost positive there are heal potions in that shop. So I guess I don't get why you're not stopping for healing potions.
And I think that reality just hit Jat's mind. And there they are. Lord Fizzle beefing a sea dive instead of his Hofer dive. Really costing Jat minutes off of this run. Demon continuing the grind. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go up to 42 just to make sure that he doesn't run into any trouble here. And we'll see if Jack can come back from this. That's a pretty major backfall.
Yeah, it really is, because this is going to give Demon, and considering he's not stopping, and really, these eyes aren't dangerous. If they're going to, if they're hitting you for 20 to 30, if they're even hitting you at all, or they're using Snort on turn 1, if they get turn order, you're barely taking any damage at this point.
Right. Right.
You take it to 42, you don't have to worry about doing the promotion. You don't have to worry about doing any of that. And the rest of the seed is, basically, I'm just going to go and one punch everything.
Absolutely. I mean, especially knowing where fast is, and if you can pick it up. Though I think we said that fast was locked at slot 3.
Yep.
You don't even need it now, but if you did have it, I mean, a 42 black belt can solo many Tophers. A fasted 42 black belt will one punch basically everything in the game.
Okay, so the one nice thing on Jat's side that kind of helps right now, he ran into a pack of ghosts that did just kill off his entire party except for the black belt. So he's definitely thinking about going, he's going to be going right back to those eyes. And he's going to be getting his levels, whether or not he takes it to 42 or not. And we've got some ghosts in the way right now.
Yeah, if I'm Demon, I'm taking this to 42. I don't want a chance, like, if Kraken gets one hit off, Kraken 1 is probably not going to one-shot a 42 black belt. And the 42 black belt is probably going to one-shot Kraken. But at 32, then you're running some risk, at least on how many turns it's going to take out the Kraken 1.
Yeah, because with, the HP, Kraken is going to have at least 800 HP. Chances are at level 32, you're not one-shotting Kraken. So Kraken's going to get at least one turn on you, maybe two. Maybe even more than that, too, depending on where the rest of the stats roll.
And it looks like, yeah, now Jat's going to have that similar decision. He's at almost level 32 right now. And Jat's got to decide, hey, Demon unequipping everything off of that black belt, the ribbon and the gold, to make sure his maximizing his absorb. And then Jat's got to decide how high he wants to take this. Knowing that he lost a grind, feeling behind. Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, this is the scary pack right here. Which he got turn order because those lobsters, they were hitting hard. They were hitting for like 90 to 100, which normally they do hit pretty hard. But a pack of 7 of those against the 42 black belt, like Gregley said, and if somebody knows black belts, Gregley's definitely one of them. Takes one ambush from lobsters, and that's it. Doesn't matter what level you are on a 42.
Yep, absolutely. and Demon getting a first strike on those lobsters. And this is the other thing to really consider when you're deciding when to do your black belt grind. And that's the fact that if you do it early enough and high enough, the morale of your enemies is going to be low enough that they start running from you instead of you having to run from them. So if you get ambushed by a pack of 7 lobsters and 5 of them run away, you now don't really have that much to worry about. And here's where we're gonna find out: is 42 enough? Is this grind going to pay out in Demon's favor? And Kraken 1 doing 602 damage.
And Kraken's not dead.
Doing over 1,000. Oh, it lit 2.
You can see the relief on Demon's face.
Oh god. Yes. Heal. Okay, there you go. There you go. There you go.
That could have easily been if Kraken got turn order, which it did, and was another punch. That grind is gone.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the fact that yeah, there you go. The fact that Kraken threw that lit 2 out instead of throwing out the instead of punching. I mean, that was, I don't know how many minutes that grind was. But now
a good chunk.
Yeah. Well, but now we're looking over here at Jat. Jat is now spending his time trying to grind all the way to 42 after losing his previous grind, and that Kraken 1 sitting in front of him. If he goes up and he faces that Kraken 1, there's a chance that bad luck hits a second time. And Demon, better than me, remembering that he has another side of this dungeon to check for key items, doing a little bit of item swapping, and we'll try to figure out what key item happens to be lying here in the Sea Shrine.
See, and here's something else that could potentially kind of swing things too, because if depending on what you find here, we know we have the herb. I think that's the big thing we found so far. If you risk and I guess go turn in the herb before going to Sky, right now we're only loot and key from go mode. It's very possible that you end up picking up the key, and key could just lead to the loot. And if maybe it's herb leads to key leads to loot, you don't have to then potentially full clear Sky, which takes a lot of time. And there's another fetch right there with the crown. So two possibilities of not having to full clear that. Whereas if Demon's like, you know what, let's go to Sky since I'm already in the northern part, and he does a full clear of it to find something that he doesn't need. Whereas Jat maybe decides, you know what, I lost a lot of time because of this wipe. I need to play a little bit riskier. I need to go just turn these in and hope that I can not full clear Sky, something like that.
Yeah. And this is it is the waterfall, I think, where the herb was. And Demon taking advantage of the exit cast that Jat doesn't have in getting out of mermaids. The Jat has enough warp that it's not really going to be an issue. But just little time saves here and there, and let's see what Jat does with his Kraken fight.
Starts
Kraken through an outlet too.
Yeah, that's not happening this time. Jat gets a little bit more luck on his punch and one punches.
Yeah, but an interesting thing to note, though, Jat already did Waterfall, and DemonRHK is in the middle of Waterfall. So Jat's almost caught up. I mean, Jat just has to go over to Mermaid side and pick up his crown, and then both of our runners are exactly in the same location with 42 black belts.
And you see Demon see the Agamos is like, these have been here the whole time, and now he's thinking, crap, if Jat brought a black belt and found this instead because he did Waterfall first, which most runners would actually do Waterfall before C, this isn't good.
Though I have to point this out, though, we are seeing something. I'm grateful for the cameras. Speed Gaming Live this year, which a number of the runners in our community took place in, required cameras, and we kind of got spoiled by it because we get to see the reactions of our runners. And one of the things that we're noticing, though, is Demon's reactions to these big events are taking up seconds. And every second that you give up is a second that you're giving to your opponent. And this is where, again, we're gonna have to see, are these seconds gonna add up to the point where the fact that Demon is reacting to events, whereas Jat is just completely moving through them, if that's gonna end up giving Jat enough time to really come back.
Yeah, and it's been something as well, just speaking on the reactions, it's something that's I've noticed is that when these big events have happened to Jat, it's like if there is any reaction from him, it's very small. It's like when you lose the grind, like you did when he took that wipe, it's the unfortunate thing that it happened. But he was very like stoic about it. There wasn't a huge reaction like this happened. It's like, okay, this happened. I need to focus up and just pick up and forget that it happened.
Yeah, one thing's for sure though, Jat's got to be feeling fire behind him. He's got to be feeling rushed, and you see a deep breath from Jat, just trying to refocus and calm down. I'm sure he's feeling behind at this moment, as it looks like Jat's going to go for the herb turn in, where Demon's focusing on doing the early sky check. And again, we're going to just have to wait and see which one ends up being the better option from a routing perspective.
Honestly, I like the checks first because they don't take a lot of time in comparison to a full clear skylight. You know, granted, you could find the key item in Mirage 1 and then it's easy, but if it ends up being like Sky 2 or Sky 3, you're checking a lot. And speaking of, you know, a key item, there's the loot. So there's one less item that Jat needs now. If he ends up finding the key in off of the crown, that's it. That's go mode.
Right. Well, but then again, I mean, he needs to find the key off the crown. If it's any other circumstance, if it's not the key off of the crown, then Jat's gonna have to full clear sky anyway. Granted, there aren't that many other options. I guess this crown could turn into an adamant that turns into a TNT that then turns into the power bonk. But again, we're just gonna have to wait and see.
The other critical thing that he could find, because we know that one key item is sitting in Gaia, is a floater, which this is a TNT instead.
Yeah, so Demon finding the adamant in Sky, whereas Jat finding the TNT from Astos, and Demon exiting out housing and diving back in.
Yeah, makes sense. He doesn't want to lose the, you know, what he's found, just in case something bad happens.
Yeah. Well, especially with the ribbon pickup. I mean, the key item pickup is one thing, but the ribbon pickup is another one.
All right, let's see. What does the TNT turn into? A floater. So that's another key item on the table now. And that not only that is a extra movement. So this was definitely probably a better play than just going to Sky right away.
I mean, 50-50. I mean, we had Power Bonk and a white shirt, and it could be that Adam. Well, and we have Ruby. We have Power Bonk, white shirt, and Ruby, and we have really 3 key items. We have Slab, Bottle, and Canaria locked. So Canaria locked can't be the key. So it has to be either this adamant turn in, or it's got to be that bottle check. So
well, it could be the key item in Gaia. It also could be Saria.
Starta.
Yeah, oh, yeah, Starta.
I was like,
I got Zelda in my mind. I was like, hey, this, but Jeff's gonna go clear. Jeff's gonna go clear Volcano first, which is gonna be a run down punch, carry, goodbye Volcano.
Yeah. I mean, I like the quick stop. I often save carry for last just because it's the furthest thing from my mind. Hanger Canuck complimenting Jat's shirt. I like it. It looks like no war mech for DemonRHK, as he's 1 tile away from Tiamat 1. Jat is diving down to see what carry has. The big question now is, where's the key? Is the key this adamant turn in from Sky, or is the key gonna be in the bottle turn in? Are we going to wind up having to translate the slab? What's going to happen with this? Because it really is anyone's match at this point, with both of our runners having lit 1 orb, about to light their second, 2 different orbs, but we are as close as you can possibly get, with very minor routing differences between the 2 of them, but both of them making the best out of the hand that's been dealt to them. And I'm pretty sure Demon's going to head over, do that herb turn in, and we'll see what Sarva has from Jat's side.
Yeah, we'll see him go turn all 3 of those, and there's a power bonk, so there's one item out of the way. So we've got the item in Gaia, but before that, we're gonna see him dive through Earth and go punch, nuke, whatever he feels like doing to Lich One.
Yeah, it seems like Jat's definitely trying to avoid doing that full clear of sky. Demon knowing, which is fortunate that it's only in greater than less than with a ribbon. So Demon with 2 ribbons has the clear of sky. Demon knows that, I mean, really, Demon has a lot faster checks ahead of him. And Jat is just really hoping that key winds up. We haven't seen Vendor either, have we?
Nope, that could be in Gaia. So right now, the main thing is, I guess it's going to kind of depend on what we see on the Adamant. That'll be the first turn in that we're going to really be paying attention to is when he turns Adamant in, because if that ends up turning into something like Slab or White Shirt, then we know that the key is behind either sitting in Gaia or it's behind the bottle in Gaia or something like that.
Yeah, and Dangwu pointing out, Demon got his continents a little bit mixed up and wound up down at Onrak, but he has found his way back up to that main continent, and we'll be getting our first look at the Adamant from DemonRHK's side, and Jat is going to be on his way down at Lich One.
Which that's another thing to consider too. If he decides to turn in Adamant first, looks like he's going to do the herb first, because it makes sense to do the Adamant last in case any of these turn into the TNT. So you have to go all the way back to Dwarf Cave.
Yeah. Hangry cannot King. Yeah.
I was going to say, Floater was at the TNT. Narek had it.
Yeah, so we know that Sarda has Bonk. We know that Narek has the Floater. Demon has the Adamant. The Fluba. Sorry, that was fun to say. Gotta love that flag.
All right, so high Lich One. He's not even going to let anybody else take a turn. I buy Lich One.
Doing 1800 damage, which is far more than the maximum amount of health that Lich can have, even with our 100 to 150% scaling.
It's only like triple what it could potentially have. So no big deal.
That's close.
All right, so Jet stopping at Gaia knows that the vendor item is here if he's been paying attention.
And picking up some cheap silver +3s in the shop. And in chat, Glaire's asking, what does plus Thor mean?
Key.
And yeah, chat finding that key in the shop.
So he can straight up go mode now.
Yeah, sorry. The plus Thor typically means if you're looking at classes, the plus Thor means that character can equip the Thor hammer at any time, which is usually reserved for our white wizards, and I believe that the fighter can, and the ninja. I'm not 100% confident.
Ninja, I'm pretty sure yes can. There's only like 4 or 5 weapons that the ninja can equip.
Yeah. And yeah, we can. Oh goodness, it's memorizing all of that. This is a quick shout out to our devs, partially for creating our shop helper flag, which, if you notice, when you're in a shop, particularly spells, weapons, and armor, you'll see our light warriors raise their hand if they are able to equip that item or buy that spell. And it saves a lot of headaches trying to remember exactly which classes can equip which items.
Yeah, definitely. But as we're kind of, we're getting back to things and kind of seeing, we're in the end game now. But Jets definitely has a, I'd say a several minute lead right now. All he has to do is come here and kill Tia. Demon still has to walk all the way through Volcano, still has to go all the way through Earth as well, and then still needs to go pick up the key from Gaia.
Yeah, this is definitely Jat has pulled up a lot from that wipe in Sea Shrine. Again, he's got to be feeling rushed at this point, but has the equipment, has the 42 black belt. The only thing Jat doesn't have is ribbons. Whether or not that actually is going to make a difference, that's up to the game. There's nothing that Jat can do about that.
Yeah, I feel like with a 42 black belt, unless something terrible happens, you're fine. But yeah, it's possible that might come into play. The major thing is, and why it's really not, I guess I don't see it as concerning, is the fact that the mages outside of life, they really don't have anything that's helping you in combat.
Right.
Like, you don't have fast, you don't have temper, there's no invis 2. Well, there'd be invis 2 on demon side. But there's nothing really like, I need my mages to be alive. The most they're probably going to be doing is, you know what, let me throw nukes out to just help chip damage when you get to like Kraken and Tia, if they're still alive when that happens.
Right. So we almost had Dueling Fiends on screen as jat2980 takes out Tia on his side, DemonRHK about to obliterate Carry on his, and we are now at the 1 hour 14 minute and about 30-second mark. We have DemonRHK with 3 orbs lit and a 42 black belt, jat2980 with 4 orbs lit and a 42 black belt. Demon about to pick up his key, Jat currently in go mode, and it looks like if DemonRHK is going to win this match, it's going to be because of a Jat wipe in Topher. So, again, Topher can be super simple, it could be paper, or it could be horrendously awful, and it's of no choice to the runners. They just have to roll with it.
So Jat is actually going to take a little bit of time because he's found fast and saw it was promotion locked, already having the tail. He's going to go grab it just to, just to be safe.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Demon knows that he's in go mode.
Did he pick the key up?
Yes, he bought the key. Maybe he was looking for the white shirt.
That's what I'm thinking. He was hoping for a white shirt because that's the only thing that makes sense at that point is you're looking for a white shirt. Just because, like I said, I mean, we've got the 42 black belt, but there's literally we have no evasion whatsoever except invis 2 at level 6. So potentially, depending what happens, that's not really going to help out too much.
Right. Well, and like people talking about bonk a little bit in chat. With a 42 black belt, yes, one cast of a saber is going to dramatically increase your damage output. However, your damage output is already so high that it might end like you might have killed the boss in 2 turns anyway. So it's one of those things you wouldn't necessarily waste a lot of time on. Jat going out of his way to pick up some Cure 4, some Lock 2, just getting his final preparations in check before diving Topher. Whereas DemonRHK, I don't know where his heal pots are at, but I can assume he's going to just go directly from Earth Cave to Topher. And again, Jat is definitely in front, but all of this prep that he's doing is just giving up some of that lead.
Yeah, but it could be that prep is what does it, because if Chaos rolls extremely nasty and you get that fast off before your mages die, you're doing potentially double the damage just like that, whereas the one that doesn't have fast, it's going to take a little bit longer.
Yeah, absolutely. Have learned the importance of preparing for Topher and not just diving headfirst to Topher as soon as you can. In Jat's case, I think it's a testament to his kind of resolve that even with that wipe in Sea Shrine, losing a grind, being a couple, knowing that you've given up a couple minutes, still making the decision that picking up that life, picking up those Cure 4s, all of that is worth the time instead of just doing a reaction play into Topher.
Those wipes might be why he did that preparation too. It was like, I already lost this time. If he's in Topher ahead of me, I need to hope that he wipes. And if he wipes to something nasty, I want to be prepared to, prevent that from happening, because then that gives me a little bit of a lead. Whereas, Demon, there's no prep, there's no doing anything. He's going right to Topher. So he's only, Jat just got to the Lich floor, and Demon's going to be joining him inside Topher. So only a few floors behind.
Yeah. And Demon power cycled before going into Topher. I don't know if Jat did. But I would say, though, that Demon didn't really have to prep. The fact that he had that White Mage meant he already had the Life 2 and the Cure 4. He's already got lock on those Black Mages. Again, these runners are essentially the same preparation. The only difference being that DemonRHK has 2 ribbons and a Massa that's probably not going to be used, whereas Jat is going to be fully relying on that black belt to do all of his damage here in Topher. Oh, and Demon losing his White Mage at the water trap tile, so that gets rid of Demon's ability to cast life, that gets rid of curing, and that definitely swings back towards Jat's favor. Even if Jat wipes, the possibility of Demon wiping has just increased substantially.
Yep, the safety on Demon's side is gone. Jat still has the safety of the Red Wizard as well, plus he's got the meat shield of his, I'm sure we're going to see before Kraken, we're going to see that Knight go up to slot 1 to hopefully take a hit from Kraken in case Kraken wants to be punch happy and not target your single life caster.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to come down to how does Jat navigate these last couple floors of Topher here, and depending on how that works is whether or not Jat's going to come out on top, or if Jat's going to end up wiping and giving Demon the opportunity to come back and take this run.
A couple steps away from Kraken, but we're going to get stopped. Knight gets taken down. I'm sure we're going to see a life cast here to pick him back up just so he can fall back down.
Yep, doing his due diligence of being the meat shield that we always wanted. And Jat using up one of those fast casts on that black belt, trying to make sure. An Inferno coming out of Kraken, taking out most of Jat's party. That Red Wizard is still standing up strong. DemonRHK losing another Light Warrior. So Jat's still strong with his Red Wizard. Demon still has that 42 black belt, has a meat shield that's still up there, but with that Inferno cast on turn 1 coming from Kraken 2, I highly doubt that Black Mage is going to make it all the way over to Chaos.
That's assuming that Black Mage is even still alive when we get to Kraken right now.
Yeah, true.
And speaking of wanting those ribbons, but only the low-level Knight goes down. Everybody else resists the Bane. And Tia punches hard. So, but Black Belt punches harder. Or I guess Master. In this case, it's not a Black Belt anymore.
Yeah, and we're almost there. Jat getting a Zombie D Whiz Vamp encounter, but being able to run from it. And Jat is currently on Chaos's floor, where DemonRHK is still stuck on the sea floor. Jat going to make his final preparations, putting that fighter up in slot 1. moving that black belt to slot 4, and we're gonna see what Chaos has for him. We got Lock 2, Fast is getting put on that black belt, and Jat's hoping for a not nasty Chaos. 9 hits for 700 damage. That fighter isn't doing anything. Chaos coming out with a stun, which is not really something you want to see, knowing that Chaos has a spell script. Taking out a sizable amount of damage. Chaos throwing out Stop and not getting that black belt, looking like a newt, and that's Chaos is down. Jat2980 coming out on top. Let's get some GGs in chat for Jat. Finishing up with 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 17 seconds. GGs to Jat.
Yep, GGs.
And it does look like we do have Jat in the booth with us. GGs, Jat.
Ugh. I thought I actually played okay. I just made one really, really, really bad mistake, which was my Sea Shrine play was actually okay. I think in Sea Shrine, my mistake was I forgot to buy heal pots after I ground the Agamas, which is just like the stupidest thing. And then I just I think my out was correct potentially in trying to kill the black belt off before Kraken, but maybe I should have just gone with the 3-man with no HP and just hoped. Maybe that would have been smarter. Yeah. I don't know. I need to buy heal pots though. I was in a bad situation to begin with.
Yeah. Well, we will come back to get your thoughts on the rest of the seed, but we do have DemonRHK coming up to his Chaos fight. He has a solo black belt, and this is A and Prey. Coming up with 9 hits, 800. Chaos returning with a stun. Chaos hitting with 2 hits for 266. The black belt for 1,000 damage. And there it is, another 1,000 damage. DemonRHK finishing in second. 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 39 seconds. That is just 1 minute and 22 seconds behind our leader, Jat2980. And it looks like we do also have DemonRHK here in the booth. GG, Demon.
Hello, GG, guys.
So we just got Jat's kind of download of his initial reaction. How are you feeling after that seed?
Well, I actually felt okay once I finally got out of the NRC.
Mm-hmm.
It was mostly getting out of the NRC that was the problem, and a couple of other small missteps I had. I nearly re-rolled a minute in when I oh yeah, fighter has X-Cal, who cares? Pull X-Cal by +4 out of the third chest of the game.
That would have changed things for me if I had opened that box. That would have been an immediate fighter play, and then I don't know if I would have done better then, but that would have been the easiest. That's the exact reason I play the comp I did right now.
Ironically enough, yeah, Demon pulled the X-Cal +4 out of the top left room of Topher. Demon also walking into Temple of Fiends with 2 ribbons, one of which was in Marsh Top, and the other one was in Greater Than Less Than, with the Adamant. Okay. That was the key item in Sky.
Yeah, I mean, I was never getting the key item in Sky, and I was never opening a single box there. The Marsh Top one, I considered opening more boxes, but it just seemed not a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, well, I had this great idea. I'm oh, I was smart. I managed my money. I bought Exit. I go down, I open the chest, and then I remember Exit's level 4, and I don't have any level 4 charges.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I didn't have a white maid, so Exit
that felt bad.
A lie.
Yeah. Yeah, been there, done that. Sorry. Demon also pulled the Massa -4 out of Earth Floor 1, which made the eye grind a little bit faster in C. Overall, didn't make too much of a difference, but it was. I was keeping a list of chests that you skipped that had things that Demon pulled out.
All the chests I skipped? As in,
pretty much. most of the boxes that you skipped. But yeah, I kind of want to get a little bit more. Actually, you know what? Link a lot, my co-com. Do you have any questions for our runners?
I guess I know we saw the reaction from Demon, but what was going through your head after Kraken 1 hit you?
I won't. I'm on restream, and I'm not going to immediately force 8 punches again, because I just wasted 20 minutes on that grind because my second black mage refused to get hit. He wore his dancing shoes. I counted. He dodged 8 eye punches.
Yeah, Jat, so you don't know, Kraken crit Demon's black belt for over 600 damage as its first turn.
Oh, yeah, he said that in chat. I was surprised it hit that hard, but a crit makes sense.
Yeah. And then he saw the Lit 2 second turn, which was really what saved him. Jat just wound up getting that Lit 2 first turn. But yeah, that was a major clinch moment for everybody who was watching this race, seeing that Kraken punch and going into round 2.
Yeah, with fast at level 5, if the first dive in Sea Shrine like worked out for me, Topher would have been a little bit touch and go, but I was feeling okay with it. I just would have been going like fast power bonk. The promotion would have been like mandatory. And then the Bane would have been a little bit scarier because my black belt would have been like 33. But I think I would have had like I probably lost what, 7 minutes in C on that wipe. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Jat had done the waterfall dive before diving C and got up to like high 20s, low 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, before burning all of his heal pots and forgetting to buy them again for that first dive down to C. But that's why the original I grind that Jat did was a full party grind just to get that black belt up to 32. But yeah, that's why it didn't waste quite as much time as it could have. I think Demon was in like the mid-teens when he found the eye, and then completely just focused on the eye grind.
Where was Demon's time loss? Because I feel like, based off what you're saying, I should have lost.
His major time loss was how long it took to get the eye grind going. Because like he said, one of his black mages did not want to die at all.
Yeah, yeah. I think Zoom got up to like 26.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he just refused to die, and I wasn't brave enough to take, even with 2 sweepers, to try to take like an off step to get some lobsters to kill him. So
yeah, that's
fair. It was that my stupid decision that, hey, provoke is faster to ice than the river system. No. And then when I was going to get the floater, I pulled a Christopher Columbus and got lost on the sea and ended up back at Ordeals.
Oh, oops. Oh, yeah, I mean, that was close. I mean, you were saying the other day that, you didn't think it was going to be too good, and then you beat me in practice race, and then today, a minute and 15 seconds apart. Yeah, I obviously got some work to do.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I felt like, I'm like, oh yeah, I beat Jab by 3 seconds in a pickup race. That's great. And then I look at the back of the race results and I see you beat Spellzap last night. I'm like, what have I done?
Yeah, I'm not doing Spellzap proud today. That was not my finest moment. I mean, then again, you know what? For how the Inner Sea was and like things like that, I don't think this was the fastest flag set on the planet. Anyways, it was A-side traps. The grinds were in kind of awkward positions. I was considering checking Desert. That might have been better because there was kind of 2 quick encounters off the power cycle. The first one wasn't super quick, but then the second one was super quick. Maybe that would have been better. But other than the sea wipe, it was actually not too bad. It was just the sea wipe was.
Yeah. I didn't get any levels in the early game because there was nothing good to take. I got absolutely bailed out by those weak metal slimes on the throne tile to let me get up to the mid-teens so I could feel brave enough to do C. And it's like, oh, I'll do C real quick. I've got bracket 2 and a bunch of charges, and then I find the eye grind, and it's just like, okay, we're going to 42 so we don't get punched out by Kraken 1, which was a good choice, and because Fast was promotion locked, and I'm like, well, I've already reset out of the tail, so I'm not promoting.
Yeah. I actually had not checked Melman yet, so it's not like I didn't forget that Fast was promotion locked. I was just checking there as like 3 out of 4 slots I'll be able to buy Fast if it's there, or even Temper, just so my Black Mage has something to do. But I think it was probably the right decision to promote. But I mean, that could have lost me the race if I didn't. Like, I don't know. I kind of erred on the side of caution throughout pods, which I'm gonna have to stop doing in the best of 1 brackets, I think, to a certain extent, anyways.
I think if you guys end up watching this back, one of the big differences, and we did comment on this a couple times throughout the run, was speed and decision making. I think accrued a good amount of time over the course of the run, where Jat would make a decision very, very quickly, and you could kind of see Demon, you reflecting a little bit, trying to figure out what to do. And it's one of those things that it's it's funny saying, going back and looking at a race that's this close, but it's races that this close where seconds end up being the difference between a win and a loss.
Oh man, if I lost by like 10 seconds because I used a warp charge in Melmond instead of saving it for my walk out of Bahamut, I knew I had I totally blanked on the I knew my black mage had charges left, but like that's the type of decision that can lose you a race, right? That's just like a straight up like 6-second time loss or something like that. It's like ugh. Yep, but
Yeah.
GG's. Demon, you ended up 2-1 or 1 and 2.
I
1 and
had
2.
I lost a goat, so I have a play-in race that's going to be. I'm feeling better about it with a lot of these better times now, but we'll have to see how many people for how many slots that ends up being. My crappy Twitch math says it's going to be I've got a decent chance, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, it's closer to a play-out race than a play-in race. You need
Yeah.
to like put up a solid time. You don't need to win it for sure. Cool.
Yeah. So I think it's about time to go for some final thoughts. So Jat, let's start with you. Our winner of tonight's race, going 3-0 in the Dr. Un pod. How are you feeling? Final thoughts and thoughts looking into brackets.
Not my finest performance in pods, but we have some work to do, so I will have to take my wins as they come. And we had some close matches, and I think this Demon's been practicing a bunch, so he was instrumental in getting me to also start practicing again, which is good to get me going for round of 64. So I'm looking forward to that. I just got to do some I don't know, I think we have about a week, so some practice seeds coming up. And yeah, thanks DVS and Sir Link a lot. I kind of voluntold you guys to do some commentary, so I appreciate it. And Groggy and Jay Shadell as well.
Demon, final thoughts.
Thanks for RPG Limit Break for hosting us. You guys for calming, tracking, restreaming, all of that junk. I got the play-in race ahead of me. I feel confident, but I feel like my big weakness is I'm not going to be able to touch the bracket flags afterwards until after that play-in race. So I'm just hoping that I'm going to be able to get enough time to get enough practice in. But definitely looking forward. It's been a fun spring tournament.
Yeah, I definitely feel that same pressure to get runs out. So to practice the bracket flags, which are quite different from these pod flags. So yeah, let me turn to Sir Link a lot. Final thoughts, and you can feel free to lead us out if you want to as well.
I know it was a nice, fun race to watch, to commentate. Very close at the end. Less than 2 minutes. It's been a blast doing commentary with you, DVS, and thanks to Groggy Dog for doing tracking for us, and Jay Shidell for doing the restream for us. But other than that, I don't have anything else to say.
Awesome. Well, I'm DVS7. That was my co-com Sir Link a lot. Big thanks to our 2 runners, DemonRHK and jat2980. Please give our runners a follow. Both of these runners are, Jat's going to be in bracket. Demon's got his play-in race next week, and with this kind of performance, I'm hoping to see Demon in brackets in the coming weeks. Thank you again to Groggy Dog for tracking, Jay Shidell for our restream. Thank you all to you out there in RPG Limit Break. If you've liked what you've seen so far, if you're interested in running some Final Fantasy, please feel free to check out our Discord. We've just posted a link inside the chat. And one of the greatest things is that this is a perfect time to get started into Final Fantasy Randomizer, because towards the end of our spring tournament, we have what's called our Duckling Boot Camp, which is a new player program that is designed to teach you absolutely everything that you need to know about this game and how to really just end up becoming at the top of your game. And I say that as I look at our list, and all of us have been through the Duckling program, and most of us within the last year or so. So yeah, it's a great time to join in. Hope to see you in the Discord. And with that, thank you, and look out for some more Final Fantasy Randomizer action tonight.